And hello and good morning and welcome. I'm David Boles. This is Boles.tv. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. We endeavor every day to bring you a little bit of insight and intrigue into the world. And here we are again. It's now, I guess, raining ice on the East Coast, New York City, tri-state area. 2 days ago it was 60 degrees and sunny. And then yesterday it was 30 degrees and freezing cold. And now freezing rain, snow, whatever you want to call it, sleet, ice, an icy mix. It's out there waiting for you. And as you can see, I'm looking very bright today because our lights are again not working well with our Mac. And our Windows machine is here. It's been here for a week, but the display is now delayed an extra week to like the middle of March. And I know it's CPU problems. And cars are being delayed, and anything that has a CPU in it is being delayed because they don't have the chips because of slowed manufacturing, because of the pandemic that we're trying to get out of. But it's a little confusing and disappointing to sit here and know that we can have a better, more intricate stream if we can only get our Windows machine moving. And I suppose you could get a cheap display somewhere and just use it, but what's the point in that? We also have our slip.stream music back. It now appears to be moving relatively smoothly. One song finishes, another song starts on shuffle and on regular play, so that's very good because it used to play one song and stop. So for about a week we were using Pretzel Rocks, which was good and effective, and then yesterday we got hit with a video on demand copyright violation from YouTube. And we have a proper license from Monster Cat Gold and Pretzel Rocks and Slipstream that we can use the music in our stream. So then you have to go through the whole process with YouTube disputing the copyright claim. It's not a copyright claim because we have a license, and then you have to let Pretzel know, and then Pretzel doesn't respond. I mean, that's one great thing about Slipstream is if you have any trouble whatsoever, you just email them and they immediately reply back and they fix the problem. So they might be a little more expensive than other streaming services, but you get what you pay for, as they say. Well, if you've been watching the news lately, I don't know where you go. How do you escape from the Ukraine and Russia? It seems like it's everywhere at once. And what are you going to do? How do you get away from it? I don't know. As I was preparing the live stream, I thought of the Beatles song back in the USSR. The Ukraine girls really knocked me out. And that's what they're doing now in the Ukraine. The citizens are taking up guns and Molotov cocktails and trying to fight the Russian forces. And I hope they do well, and I hope they win and they make a difference. A more intimate story is people on the train out of Ukraine going into Poland. And the train's being stopped by the Ukraine military and saying if you are a man, I think aged between, I think they said 16 and 60, you get off this train right now, you leave your family and your belongings behind, and you come with us. You're going to pick up a gun, and you are going to defend your country. Now that is very scary and very memorable. So now that all these train stations in Poland are filled with people trying to escape Ukraine, and it's either very young children who are male or very old male people with lots and lots and lots of women. Because all the fighting age men have been told you're going to fight and you're going to stay. You're not leaving. So when you think of this, well, before we talk about that, let's talk about this. Our old friend Ethereum is on the mend, making a big comeback. Yesterday when we talked, it was, oh gosh, painful for the sellers. It was a buyer's market yesterday. Now it's a seller's market once again. At least it's getting there. It was $2,300 yesterday. Ooh. Now it's up $400. But just a few hours ago, this is what's so volatile about this market. Ether was $2,500. So in a few hours, it's gone back up to $2,700. And that's still not where they want it to be. They want it to be around 3,000 before all of this terrible fighting and COVID repression took us over. And the Dow is doing very well. It's up 92 points. So that's good. Let's check our gas prices because we have to. Gas prices right now for OpenSea, 35. It's a lot of money. I think yesterday was 8, and now we're up to 35. But I did learn one thing on OpenSea, is if you are as my music stopped, this is where I get very scared when the music just stops playing. Sometimes it just pauses between songs, and sometimes it just goes belly up, toes up like this as it did now. I don't know what's happened. Oh! It's a long pause. The pause that doesn't comfort. But one thing I learned on OpenSea is if you are an NFT creator and you are minting, is what they call it. Putting stuff up. If you're minting your artwork or whatever to sell as an NFT online, OpenSea does not charge you gas to create and sell your NFT. What they do instead is they charge the buyer 2.8% as a sort of administration fee, which I guess covers the gas fee that they have to eat when they let creators mint without a gas fee. So that's a good thing about OpenSea. They don't charge you gas. So now we go here. Excuse me. We talk about Ukraine and Russia. And you can't go to the major media because they're all in it together. CNN. Oh, there's Artist Dora. Good morning. This war is very depressing. It really is depressing. But it's interesting that it was more depressing yesterday when it started, at least financially, than it is today. And it's so funny how they were talking about how Biden was going to cut off Russia from the banking system, SWIFT banking system, and that would punish them. And he hasn't done that yet. The U.S. and the U.K. are pressuring them monetarily. But I guess the reason they can't do that is because there are places in Europe that rely on Russian oil. And if you block Russia from the Strike network, they can't get paid. You can't pay for the oil. So therefore, Russia's not going to deliver the oil, and then the countries suffer, and then Russia wins. So I guess that's why not Strike, SWIFT. I have 4 different accounts that are all online and all virtual, and one of them is Strike. Another one is Skrill. Too many S's for my financial well-being. And now all of these virtual payment systems are offering you opportunities to buy Bitcoin or to buy cryptocurrency. Now, one, Cash.app, which is run by Square, I believe. They bought Credit Karma. You can file your taxes for free, and you can buy Bitcoin with as much as, I think, $1. It's a very easy, seamless way to start. And you can also buy stocks. You can buy $10 worth of Apple right there in the Cash app. That I find very interesting and very amazing. And they want you to bank with them and give them direct deposits, and they want to be your bank, the Cash.app bank. And it's all virtual. But what's interesting I learned yesterday about Cash App is if you have cash in your hand that you want to deposit in your Cash.app app, you click on a button. And this is the magic of the computer world. You click on a button, and it shows you all these places around you that will accept cash from you to deposit into your Cash App account. And there are several, I checked, there's several restaurants around here, the Walgreens, pharmacy. So you go in there, you give them cash, you say, I'm depositing this in my Cash App account, because a lot of them are already on the Square network, they accept Square. And then you have a special code. It's not a QR code, it's a bar scan code that is created dynamically every time you decide you want to deposit money into your account. That's good for about 5 minutes. And you show the cashier that barcode, and the cashier scans it, and you immediately have the cash in your account. Now that's a very clever way for the unbanked to get banked. And then you have money, cash money, in your Cash App account. That is a checking account. It has a routing number and a checking ID, and it comes with a debit card, and you can pay people virtually, and you can buy Bitcoin, and you can buy shares of Apple, or whatever other company you want to buy, all in one little place. It's very interesting. I checked out Venmo. I don't see it. And Venmo is PayPal. The one that I can find that has everything in it so far is Cash.app. Now, when you set up these Bitcoin wallets, or something like MoonPay, MoonPay.com, very good. You have to verify your identity, because it's a tax thing, IRS thing for the government. They want to know what you're doing with your Bitcoin. So you have to take a picture, and they walk you through it. You do it on your phone. You walk through it front and back of your driver's license. Then you have to take a selfie, look your best, find the light, right lighting. This is the default lighting, by the way, the very harsh fluorescent light. I've lost my very cool golden look that I had yesterday. It's not working. With the computer. The lights are working, but the computer's not working. And then you wait about 60 seconds, sometimes a little longer, and then they say you've been confirmed. You have to have a government ID, though. You've been confirmed. You are now allowed to buy and sell and trade and pay with Bitcoin. And they say, how much would you like to buy? One Bitcoin is, yesterday, $34,000. But they do allow you to pick any number you want. You can pick $10 if you want, $5, I think, if you want to, and just buy $5 of Bitcoin just to say you did. And you have it in your pocket. So when these wars break out, or when there's any news going on, you really can't trust the major news networks, because they're all in bed with government power, because they know the government can shut them down anytime they like. So you look for interesting people online who might be bloggers, or who publish things or have podcasts or little hidden places that you don't know exist until you find them. And then you say, oh my, I need to share this with other people. Well, one place you should add to your reading list is Empty Wheel. Oh, there's Dora. I had to do that yesterday for verification for something else. It didn't work for some reason. Sometimes it doesn't work. You're absolutely right. It's very, very frustrating. And 2 years ago, it really didn't work. And today, this week, because I'm experimenting with all of this, trying to understand it, it's worked magically well. I'm very surprised. I got verified on MoonPay, which is an easy way of moving money seamlessly and frictionlessly between accounts, and Cash App. I was very surprised, but I had to do it on my phone, which I guess is what 90% of the people do. I'm old and old-fashioned. I like doing things on my desktop. But they say on your desktop, okay, now we're going to scan your driver's license, and they can't get access to the camera. But when you do it all on your phone, which I hate because I can't see it, because the print is so small, It's just seamless. They turn on your camera, you take a picture, you submit, and then once it's all set up, you can go online on your desktop and look at everything in bigger so you can see it. And there are people who don't want to do it. Oh, I don't want people to have my ID or a selfie of me. Oh, Dora said, I did it on the phone, and maybe that's why it didn't work. Yeah, I don't know. You have to make... A lot of these apps need permission to use your camera. And sometimes that notification doesn't get popped up right away. So sometimes you have to uninstall, restart your phone, and then reinstall the app that was giving you the problem. And then it will work. Like the iPhone is very locked down with that kind of thing. They say, Cash App wants to use your camera. Do you want to allow that or not? Yes or no? Okay, allow. Okay, here's a camera. So you have to know where to go to try to get information that you can rely on. And one very interesting place that I followed for 2 or 3 years is Empty Wheel. EMPTYWHEEL.net. And it's a consortium of very interesting writers who are sort of insiders, or who have worked and who know how the system works. And they then tell you what's really going on. So it's Marcy Wheeler's website. Who is Marcy Wheeler? Well, she's an independent journalist writing about national security and civil liberties. She writes as Empty Wheel, that's her pseudonym, but everybody knows it's Marcy. And her eponymous blog publishes at outlets including Motherboard, New Republic, Al Jazeera, and appears frequently on television and radio. She is the author of Anatomy of Deceit, a primer on the CIA leak investigation, and live blogged the Scooter Libby trial. She serves on the advisory committee for the House Fourth Amendment Caucus, is a senior fellow at George Washington University's Center for Cyber and Homeland Security, and was declared an Internet human rights hero by Access Now. She's been blogging since 2007. She has a PhD from the University of Michigan, and this is the most interesting part that I did not know. Marcy, her spouse, and Junebug, the terrorist foster ex-dog, recently moved to Ireland. Now that is very interesting, because you could see up here her life at one time was Washington, D.C. So here's Marcy's take on what's going on with authoritarianism and Ukraine and Russia. And it's very, very interesting. I'm not going to read you the whole thing, but I'll read part of it. I'll put the link in chat. And it's a great blog. And the conversation they have in the comments is also very interesting. So this is from yesterday. Joe Biden announced a second round of sanctions retaliating against Russia for its invasion of Ukraine. To understand what he said, it helps to think of the challenge facing Biden: how to avoid losing a world war between authoritarianism and democracy. Now, Marcy is very kind to Joe Biden often. A lot of the people in her comments don't like him very much, but she says, look, he has a terrible hand. He has 50 presidents in the Senate who all think that they can run the world, and he has to manage them. And she thinks so far he's done a very good job. So she says that Vladimir Putin not only wants to reassert a Russian empire, he wants to do so as a dictator. This is about far more than preventing a democratic Ukraine on his border. Rather, he has been working to discredit the liberal order, and he's done it here. He did it. He helped Donald Trump win, both in its real hypocrisy and its claim to work better than authoritarianism for decades. To do so, he needs to break up U.S. hegemony, split the Western Alliance, and hopefully dismantle democracy in the United States, which he's doing a very good job at, I have to admit. He needs to do so while sustaining his own rock-solid hold on power in Russia. So here are her warning signs for what's really going on, and it's very interesting. 1. Don't let it become a world war between authoritarianism versus democracy. Now you think, why not? Why can't we have a world war to crush authoritarianism? We did it once, we'll do it again. Well, she says, as Russia launched its attack last night this morning, China clearly didn't know what the party line was yet. Statements this morning seem to indicate fairly broad support for Russia's efforts, with China's foreign minister expressing support for Russia's legitimate concerns on security issues. But later in the day, while still refusing to call Russia's attack an invasion, China's deputy foreign minister declared that, well, China's closely following the development of the situation. What you are seeing today is not what we would have wished to see. We hope all parties can go back to dialogue and negotiation. So we know that China's on Russia's side, but if they just kind of take their hands off and say, well, we love Mother Russia, but it's not for us, that's bad for Russia and very good for the United States. So that's why they're not pushing China to defend Russia or to defend authoritarianism. Because if you do that, then they are going to go on Russia's side and say, well, if it's about democracy, we don't support that. Retain the tools. The U.S. has gotten far weaker in the last 2 decades, but it still retains the tools of global financial hegemony, which is why it uses to impose its will, and which Russia has been aggressively targeting since 2006. And so Russia's trying to set up a second type of financial payment system worldwide that does not include SWIFT. But it's not ready yet. That's why Biden also is not pushing that. Number 3, she says, don't antagonize your allies. This is the big reason why Biden didn't kick Russia out of SWIFT yet. Because its key allies, Italy, Germany, Cyprus, are not willing to do that. Part of this has to do with buying Russian natural gas. Part of it has to do with their trade with Russia. So that's very interesting. You think, oh, just isolate Russia, cut them off. Don't let them spend any money. Don't let them take any money. Well, what about the other countries that depend on Russia? And you want their support. You know they don't like what's going on in Ukraine. But the Ukraine girls can't knock them out without a little bit of help from their neighbors. So you can't antagonize them. Yet. But if it gets to the point where they have to, they will. Keep the public happy. Underlying the SWIFT decision, and others, of course, is minimizing the impact of inflation, especially spiking gas prices. Europe, right, is not prepared to forego Russian gas yet, and won't be until temperatures get far warmer, and fallback measures involving gas from Qatar and other sources have been proven. Increase Putin's volatility. When Putin first planned this, as I kept saying, Marcy says, I imagine he thought it'd be easy to manufacture a casus belli that would make it easier to achieve his goals both domestically and internationally. Well, that failed. That will make it far easier to isolate Putin internationally. It will raise the cost of the operation, which seems to have contributed to real apprehensions among Putin's closest advisors. Perhaps Putin believed he would be hailed as a hero, like he was when he annexed Crimea. Instead, cousins are being sent to kill cousins, and a brave handful of Russians are objecting to the barbaric act Russia has taken on. So while I doubt it's the reason the U.S. sanctioned a bunch of oligarchs but not Putin, it might have the effect of exacerbating whatever discomfort his closest allies have with his action. Vladimir Putin prefers authoritarianism because it is easier to coerce legitimacy than negotiating it. That's true. It would be far easier if Biden could order China to stay out of it if Biden could order Germany to buy off on greater financial sanctions, if Biden could ignore right-wing efforts here at home to use financial stress to undermine his administration. But he can't. That's what makes defending democracy all that more difficult. That's why the sanctions were not what the public expected. Remarkably, however, Biden has done a better job of persuading allies than Putin has in coercing them. And here are the comments, which are always very interesting. So here's a really wonderful story in foreign policy about Putin. I'll put the link in chat. Calling Putin a man-child. Excuse me. And here he is posing on his yacht. And they just put the lie, put the fact, put the myth all out in the open of who Putin is and who he thinks he is. He has a palace on the Black Sea, and various details regarding the Black Sea Palace and nearby Putin-owned properties have made Russia's dictator the subject of laughter. Some guffawed at an $850 toilet brush and nearly $1,300 toilet paper holder. Others mock the presence of a prized aqua discotheque, a fountain-like device that pours water to produce a selected tune located in one of the palace's bars. Now the subject of a satirical rap by Russian performer TMNV, who pleads, "Vova, take me out to the aqua discotheque. Put some shit in the hookah, we're going to bug Navalny." Vova is an informal Russian shortening of Vladimir, akin to English speaker calling William Bubba. And this is just a terrific article. Oh, what happened? Oh, this is it. They want us to pay. Oh, we have someone following. Unknown is followed. Very mysterious. Welcome to the chat. So the purpose of the palace is much clearer than that of the dacha. From the governmental duties, removed from responsibilities of family, and loaded with at least 6 distinct places to get wasted, this is not the abode of a confident ruler, but the lair of an overgrown man-child. In a house with more than 3 times the floor area of the White House, and on a vast estate more than 86 times the area of Camp David, Putin is free to indulge his heart's desires, as his country crumbles around him, impoverished by the sheer rapaciousness and incompetence of its president and his accomplices. So this is who we're dealing with. This is what's coming for us in Vladimir Putin. And I read somewhere that people think he's a little old and maybe a little senile now. He's been in power for 20 years. He's been living in his little palace, isolated, cut off from the rest of the world for 2 years. And maybe he doesn't know really how he wants this to end, but he knows where he wants to go. Moldova is next, is what I'm hearing, after he takes Ukraine. And now we're going to take a very brief blood pressure break. We will be back in a moment. And we are back on Boles TV, BOLES .television TV. I'm David Boles, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. right here live with you every day. Janna Marie on the weekends, 11 a.m. as she talks about hardcore ASL and disability issues. And she shares some fun facts in American Sign Language. And she is coming up in the flesh, about 10:15. And she's going to give you a hardcore ASL lesson in animal movement. How animals move, how a farm animal moves differently from a domesticated animal, how a wild animal moves differently from a farm animal. It will be interesting, and it will be wonderful. So we're talking about Vladimir Putin, and here are some images of his mighty palace. Now, what would Lenin think of this? Or Stalin think of the great savior of Mother Russia, who lives like a aristocrat? Very funny, right? And none of this belongs to Mother Russia. This all belongs to Putin himself, with money that he has scraped and saved from his time as president over the last 20 years. Really answers to no one. Used to answer to a government body, but they answer to him now. And I guess this whole sort of peninsula is his, completely surrounded and protected from the commoners that he tends to serve. And I don't think a lot of people know in Russia that he has this immense palace. Is this Putin's palace? Yes, we know it is now. Look inside. I don't know if these are renderings or if these are actually on the inside. Well, this looks like it's right on the ground. I don't know how close you can get, but it cost a lot of money to build. And I'm sure he doesn't like these shots of his getaway to be known or to be placed in the public atmosphere for mockery about bad taste. But you sort of see, you know, with the $850 toilet brush, the $1,200 toilet paper hanger thinger, why he and Trump are of the same soul. They both sort of have the same bad, gaudy taste. Hey, you look for places you can bond, and there you go. You're bonded. We're together. We know what's going on. We know where we belong. I wonder if there are tunnels and escape paths and all kinds of funny things. So that's what's going on. This is the man who wants to own Ukraine. And we hope the Ukraine girls will do their job and knock him out. Well, yesterday we were talking about IRS scams and stealing identity. Well, this is next level. From Schneier on Security. An elaborate employment con in the internet age. And I'm coughing again because I am getting blown out by our neighbors. Little too much pot smoking for them, not me, but they are hotboxing me. It's an old story, but the tech gives it a bunch of new twists. Gemma Brett, a 27-year-old designer from West London, had only been working at Mad Bird for 2 weeks when she spotted something strange. Curious about what her commute would be like when the pandemic was over, she searched for the company's office address. The result looked nothing like the videos on Mad Bird's website of a sleek workspace buzzing with creative types. Instead, Google Street View showed an upmarket block of flats in London's Kensington. Using online reverse image searches, they dug deeper. And if you don't know how to use Google's reverse image search, you should, because it's very interesting and very powerful. I'll show you how it works. Using one online reverse image searches, they dug deeper. They found that almost all the work Madbird claimed as its own had been stolen from elsewhere on the internet, and that some of the colleagues they'd been messaging online, in fact, did not exist. And this is a company, by the way, that's pretending to hire people. At least 6 of the most senior employees profiled by Madbird were fake. Their identities stitched together using photos stolen from random corners of the internet and made-up names. They included Madbird's co-founder, Dave Stanfield, despite him having a LinkedIn profile, and Allie referring to him constantly. Some of the duped staff had even received emails from this person who did not exist. Dora says, "Will that work with my art and photos?" Shaking my head regarding a fake company. Yes, it will work. Read the whole sad story. What's amazing is how shallow all the fakery was, and how quickly it all unraveled once people started digging. But until there's suspicion enough to dig, we take all of these things at face value. And in COVID times, there's no face-to-face anything. So you can't even trust the people who you're trying to work for if they're real people. Everyone's working a scam somehow. And that was interesting. When I was, really starting my magazine, I would ask people to, write for free. We're all in this together. We're not going to take any advertising. I'm not going to pay you. You're going to give me your work. I'm going to publish it. I'll take the financial hit on the publication thing, but I'm not being paid. I'm not taking advertising money. And there were people who were into it, and we had a wonderful time. But there's always 1 or 2 people who accuse me of, "Oh, you're making money under the table." I said, "I'm not." "Oh, so yes, you are." I said, "Well, okay, I'm not, but how? And, show me how I'm taking money under the table. People are paying me. I'm getting advertising money. I don't understand. I'm not publishing sponsored posts. I don't get it." So I finally wised up and realized what they're accusing me of, this is what Trump did, what they're accusing me of is what they would do if they are in my position. They would not write for free. They would not publish other people for free donating your time. They would find a way to make money off it, to scrape off a few dollars. Well, that isn't me. That's not what I'm into. And I'm lucky enough in my life that I've met people who are of that same philosophy. Now, we're not talking about you want to make money, you got to pay rent, all that, but there's also some times where you do things, as Howard Stein would tell me at Columbia University, you do them for the goodness of your soul. And we did, and our souls were made better by working with each other. But no matter what, there are some people you just cannot convince, and they think that you're in some kind of scheme. And it's disappointing, because you hope people that would believe what you say, and they don't believe it because they don't want to believe it. It's inconvenient for them to believe it. So now we'll go do a Google reverse image search, which should be interesting. So you go to Google Images, which I can't remember what the website is, so I'm just going to type in Google Images. Okay, so it's Google Images. I think it's images.google or something, but so here's where you do the reverse search. Search by image is what you do. You click on that. And you can paste an image URL you have online, or you can upload an image. So I'm going to upload an image of mine, which is my new NFT cat from Subet. Now this is a recent acquisition of mine. Other people have had it. So we'll see where this image that I now use as my avatar on Twitter, where it appears other places. So this is my photograph, my image that I uploaded, right? And here we go on. I'll show you on Twitter. Oh, Twitter's very slow today. Here's my Twitter profile. There's the image of the kitty, right? Click on it. And you can see here it is. It's Ugly Kitty number 93. Ugly Epic number 2. Proving ownership. Okay, so I am now the owner of that Ugly Kitty image. Now, that doesn't mean anything to people on the internet because they steal things. And I guess I could go after these people. You're now using my image because they don't own it anymore. I do. So here's my image. Here are visually similar images. Okay. And that's always the most interesting part. I got my vampire teeth. Yes, I did. I got my vampire teeth that I wanted. So these are the images, right? Oh, here we go. Ugly Kitties on Twitter. January 2022. See new tweets, conversation, Ugly Kitties at Ugly Kitties 1. NFT cheers. Now this is very interesting. Statistics. Subet number 3, NFT statistics. Well, now I've intrigued myself. So let's see where this goes, if we dare. Now this was in January. Ugly Kitties. Okay, so it's just promoting stuff. Well, that's interesting. So that shows you other places on the internet where that image is being used. Fair enough. Now we're going to do it again. So we go to images.google.com. Here we are, the images website. Click on search by image. So you can do this like with people's faces. You know, somebody sends you a face, is that a real person's face? And sometimes, you know, online you find out, well, that's somebody else's image that somebody else is using to pretend to be that face. Not necessarily the person, but that face. Choose file. What am I going to upload this time? Oh, let's upload Jack and Dora. Meow. And let's see if and when this appears anyplace else on the internet. So there's our original image from Dora, the lovely Dora, right here. No other sizes of this image are found. That's the original size. That's good. Here, visually similar images. Oh, they're so cute. But none of them are Dora. YouTube, pages that include matching images. Nothing, 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 nothing. So there you go. I've tweeted about it, but it hasn't been cataloged yet. Oh, catalogued yet. Indexed, I guess, is correct. Ah, good, thanks. Yeah, so Dora, so you can do this yourself if you're suspicious of people using your image. Now, the problem becomes, what are you going to do when people find that your image, when you find that people are using your image in a way that you don't like or approve of? Now you can try to send them a message. You can say, hey, that's my image, not your image. You can say, hey, now, come on now. But it may not get you very far because people are sort of mean and they don't care. It's the new world, but at least that's a tool you have. Here's a prediction from The Motley Fool, which is an online financial, I guess, advisor place. I'm not sure why they want to call themselves The Motley Fool, but I also don't understand why a woman who supports veganism would call herself a slutty vegan. Doesn't make sense to me. It's negative. So we know that Ethereum is, right now, the preferred coinage for NFTs because it's relatively inexpensive compared to Bitcoin and easy to buy, easy to find. And there are probably 15 cryptocurrencies out there, and some of them are worth pennies and some of them are worth $40,000 each for one. So the Ethereum blockchain is powered by the Ethcoin, a cryptocurrency with a market value of $320 billion. Only Bitcoin is worth more. And Ethereum's success can be attributed to its programmability. Specifically, developers can use the platform to build and deploy decentralized application, DApps. You're going to see that a lot when you get into the Ethereum world. Software that exists on a peer-to-peer network rather than centralized corporate services. And it's so funny, when all this cryptocurrency was just starting, all these big tech companies had their favorites. And I remember that Microsoft was very, very big into Litecoin, Litecoin. And they were going to push it, and you should buy as much Litecoin as you could because Microsoft was behind it, and they were going to make a lot of money and make you a lot of money, and nothing happened. It's not really gone anywhere. So decentralized finance, you may see this a lot, is called DeFi. Products are a type of DApp. So DeFi and DApp are related. They allow investors to lend, trade, and earn interest on money without having to pay for going through traditional banking or brokerages. And by eliminating intermediaries from the equation, DeFi products make financial services more efficient and more accessible. I agree. We talked about the Cash App. That is decentralized, open kind of being banked even if you don't have a bank. But you do have to have government ID to get in, so it's sort of difficult if you don't have that ID. Thanks to its first mover status, Ethereum is the largest DApp and DeFi ecosystem in the blockchain industry. But popularity has also exposed significant weaknesses. It lacks scalability. Now, Ethereum 2 is coming, which is supposed to mitigate or completely remove gas fees. As Ethereum's transaction volume has risen, network traffic speeds have slowed. And because each transaction is competing for limited mining power, transaction fees, gas fees have skyrocketed. Oh boy, they have. Of course, an upgrade is underway that aims to address the problem, but scalability isn't expected to improve until 2023. In the meantime, other blockchains have already solved that problem, and they're gaining ground on the market leader. So that's a problem for Ethereum, is the gas fees. Oh, there's Dora. I read about copyright for images, painting, but I have so much on my plate right now. Later I will see, but with the NFT market, I'm a little discouraged. But this is my life, and I won't let it stop me. I've gotten further than I ever thought I could. Regarding Bitcoin, I will definitely buy some. Good. I think it's very smart. And people talk about this Ukraine-Russia thing. Oh boy. Hoard gold and hoard your Bitcoin. And Berkshire Hathaway came out this morning, Warren Buffett, and said, no. You're at war like this, you don't hoard. You don't hide your money in Bitcoin and gold. You put it in the stock market. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but it's interesting that war is good for the stock market, because so far war has been terrible for the stock market and for cryptocurrency. So there's this new cryptocurrency called Avalanche. AVAX, a programmable blockchain designed by Ava Labs. Its core innovation is the Snowman Consensus Protocol, a type of proof of stake in which validators confirm transactions by randomly sampling a small subset of nodes, computers, rather than engaging in a time-consuming message exchange with every other node on the network. And that's true when you make an Ethereum transaction. If you're buying something or selling something, or just, buying Ethereum and waiting for it to appear in your account, it can take minutes and it can take days. Some people say they wait 2 or 3 days to get confirmation from the network that their NFT purchase went through. Now, there are some hard wallets that will give you a choice. Okay, you're buying Ethereum. Do you want to get there fast for this amount, medium for this amount, or super instantaneous for this amount? And it's like the difference between $5, $10, and $25. My advice is to always go as fast as possible because you never know what's going to happen. Just pay for it, get it over with. So all of that makes Avalanche a very fast network. In fact, with a throughput of 4,500 transactions per second and a finalization time of 2 seconds, see, 2 seconds versus 2 days, it's a difference. Ava Labs believes Avalanche now is the world's fastest blockchain, which is very important. Speed is important in these exchanges. For context, Ethereum handles about 14 transactions per second. Oh, that's bad. And it requires up to 6 minutes to finalize transactions. That lack of scalability has made the platform expensive. The average transaction fee, gas fee, is more than $20 on Ethereum, and we have seen that. But you'll likely pay just a few cents for the same thing on Avalanche. Well, I'm getting convinced. Avalanche is designed to be compatible with Ethereum smart contracts, very important, meaning developers can easily port their D-apps from one blockchain to the other. In fact, stablecoin exchange Curve and lending protocol Aave are two of the most popular DeFi platforms on Ethereum. And both of them went live on Avalanche in October, offering investors a faster and cheaper means of access. Shortly after, Ethereum native USD coin, a stablecoin pegged to the US dollar, which is very bizarre, was added to Avalanche in December. As the cryptocurrency's second most popular stablecoin, USDC could supercharge the Avalanche DeFi ecosystem because it allows people to invest in DeFi without holding volatile cryptocurrencies. For instance, you can earn a 1.56 annual percentage yield rate by lending USDC to the Aave protocol right now. That is orders of magnitude more than the 0.06 paid by the average bank savings account. Very interesting. In short, Avalanche is fast, cheap, compatible with Ethereum. Over the past year, that value proposition has fueled rapid adoption. Avalanche's daily transaction volume crossed 1 million for the first time in January 2022. That's up from just a few hundred transactions per day in January 2021, and it's nearly equal to the 1.2 million average daily transactions seen on Ethereum so far this year. Moreover, Avalanche currently features 175 blockchain projects, including an array of video games, NFT marketplaces, and DeFi protocols. And it ranks as the fourth largest DeFi ecosystem with about $11 billion invested on the blockchain. Going forward, as those DApps and DeFi products draw more developers, consumers, and investors to the platform, demand for the AVAX coin should rise, pushing its price higher. And given enough time, I believe Avalanche could surpass Ethereum in terms of price point and popularity. So speaking of cryptocurrencies, the Shiba Inu metaverse will sell 35,000 plots of virtual land over the next 10 days and unleash token owners will get priority bidding. Shiba Inu fans will not have to wait too much longer to own a chunk of the Dogecoin-themed metaverse. The developers of the meme cryptocurrency, Dogecoin, are planning a 10-day sale of digital land in the up-and-coming Shibaverse on the metaverse with your metamates, according to Twitter Space they held early on Wednesday. The team originally announced its foray into the metaverse by posting an image from their very own digital world on Twitter. triggering a rally in the meme cryptocurrency in late January. And here's what they said, and here's what it looks like. As promised. We are so excited to announce our first special surprise of the year, Shiba Army. In 2022, we are reaching new heights and welcoming the Shibaverse, an immersive experience for our ecosystem and the metaverse space. We can't wait to show you more. Woof! Meow meow. Oh, this is exciting, the people say. Spooky Shiba, together stronger. Shiba to the moon! Our changer reveals the latest plans for Shiba in the metaverse, including a 10-day sale in which 35,000 plots of land will be sold. These 35,000 plots are only a portion of the 99,000 total plots that will make up the Shiba Inu metaverse. Prices will vary by location, with land closer to the center of the park, the focal point of which is a dog park, costing you even more. Early access will be given to users that hold Leash, a token in the Shiba Inu ecosystem, who will have dedicated a portal through which they can buy digital land. Users will have to lock these tokens for an unspecified amount of time, and the more tokens they lock, the shorter the locking period will be. So it's all new. It's all happening in the metaverse. Don't get left behind, because the metaverse is coming for you and coming for me. And that's what makes me wonder all of these changes that are coming for Ethereum and Avalanche and Dogecoin and Litecoin. How do you know where to go? That's why most people, and there used to be two kinds of Bitcoin. One is the old kind, one is the new kind. So there's the old Bitcoin that nobody wants and nobody has because it's old technology, and there's the new Bitcoin. So right now there's just kind of BTC, which is it. But some people are still confused when they see two different Bitcoins. So be wary, know the one you're buying. One is worth a lot of money, the other one is not worth any money, really. And Ethereum prices are just skyrocketing, going up and down. Take another look. What's going on with Ethereum? Are we up or are we down? Oh, we're going down again. Oh, that's not good. Every time Putin sneezes, Ethereum goes down. And here are the gas prices we read about. I mean, that's just really hard to, I guess, stomach is the word. A transaction fee of, I'm not showing it to you, I should be showing this to you. A transaction fee of $46. It was 30 this morning. Yesterday it was around 8. Ho ho ho! That is a problem for Ethereum, are the gas fees. Everybody complains. They're trying to fix it with version 2. And then you have the Avalanche people saying, well, we don't have gas fees. We're just going to charge you a couple pennies to send something from here to there. And speaking of sending something from here to there, the Janna Marie Sweetheart Baby Kitty is on her way. She's going to be giving you a wonderful lesson in American Sign Language, hardcore American Sign Language, that is going to deal with the animal world and how animals move and how they interact with each other. There are domesticated animals that move one way. Farm animals tend to be a little larger, a little heavier, a little clunkier, move another way. And then you have the wild animals who are ravages and who move only the way they want to move, to either kill or to try to avoid being killed. And all of that is coming up next right here on BOLES.TV. It's Boles TV, coming to you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. And now we're going to take our brief break, get Janna Marie set up, and she's coming up next. I will see you after Janna Marie. And this is Boles.tv. I'm David Boles. And the music is over, and Janna Marie is over, and I guess I'm over. At least until Monday. We are here with you live, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. The beautiful Janna Marie is with you on weekends at 11 a.m. We had a very interesting week talking about art and cryptocurrency and tax evasion and NFTs and purchase prices and IRS fake check scams. And we're going to have more fun next week, starting Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Until then, you can email me, David, at Boles.tv, if you have a question. You can always email Janna at Boles.tv. You can find us on Instagram, Boles Books, on Twitter, David Boles, super follow, soon to come. On Facebook, we're regular old Boles. On TikTok, we are Boles TV, and here is our Discord server, in case you'd like to stop by and say hello, and share in something fun. So I will see you Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern, and Janna Marie will see you in about 24 hours right here on Boles.tv. Until then, I wish you a great day, a wonderful evening, a happy nap, a great rest, a wonderful walk, a warm day, a cold day, whatever makes you happy and puts joy in your heart. I will see you soon.